Hello and welcome back for another video. This is the 10th video in my series Start from Scratch with the Boss RC600 LoopStation. This is the Michaelsphere, and if you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe. It sure does support a channel and it encourages me to keep on making these videos, and hopefully we will be able to unlock a lot of the mysteries that are in this machine. It's an amazing machine, but it is so complicated that so many people are having a tough time with it, and I am trying to clarify some of the functionality and some of the things that have to happen internally in order to make everything work properly. And upon reviewing my setup that I was working towards bringing us all into, I have decided that I think maybe it would be wise to simplify this configuration because I may be covering too much too fast. And so I've decided that what I'm going to do is simplify by removing these two functions, and I will save mic mutes and instrument mutes and alternating microphones for a different video. Also, I will take these two controls, reverse function and input through, and I will instead put input through on foot switch number 8 and just have one function here on pedal 5 on mode 1. Furthermore, I believe that I would be smarter to use dub mode and mark set along with what I previously had talked about in the last video, mark back and record back. I'd like to keep them all on one single mode so that I can show you how they all work together in a more clarified and easier way for everybody to understand. So I'm going to take these functions away from mode 1 and I will put them on mode 2 instead, along with mark back and record back. So I'm just going to simplify this setup by putting these controls here. I will move this over to here, and that will leave these three foot switches to do other functions. And I believe I'll probably use them for effects. And so that sure simplifies everything. I'll use 3 for effects, these 3 functions that change how the machine works, and I will use input through rather than multiple commands on one function. Anyway, let's get started and we will set up the machine using this simplified version, and hopefully it'll be a lot clearer once we get into the menus. So going into the menu, let's have a closer look. We're going to press Menu and scroll over to Control Functions, and in mode 1, pedal number 3 is the only one that we're going to be worrying about for now. We're going to dial it over for current track because I'm using that selector system where I'm able to select any given track. And in this area, you will find a command saying reverse. And that's the one that we're looking for. Current track reverse. Let's exit from there. And that's all we need to worry about for now with control functions. Let's go into assigns, and using assign number 1, let's go to the left one screen and turn it on so that the assign is activated. And I'm going to set this for a mode 1, pedal 1, and I want it to be toggle. Scrolling over to the next screen, I'm looking for auto record. And I'm going to find that all the way over, so press down on the button and turn it to speed up how fast the dial rotates. Be gentle though, because these are rather fragile knobs, and they're awful expensive to replace should something go wrong. But somewhere around the 2 o'clock position, we're going to find the command for auto record. Just after the area that says the track effects and whatnot, and maybe after this section, at about the 2 o'clock position, I believe I said. And yes, there it is right there, right after dub mode. And we're going to be needing that later on when we get to mode 2 now, because I've switched that command over to mode 2. So auto record for mode 1, pedal 1, toggle, and you do have to turn on the assign. Going to the next one, assign number 2, over to here, turn it on, and now we're going to look for one shot. And oh, sorry, that's going to be on mode 1. Pedal 2. So there we go, and I also want that on toggle. Scrolling over to this screen, this is where we're going to look for one shot. And one shot is a command that you do have to choose what track you're going to apply that to. You're not able to choose current track with the one shot function. It's only available when you apply it to a particular track. So you have to choose. And I think I'm going to put it on track 4. That's the verse, that's the track that I'm using for the verse capture. So I'm going to play a verse part, capture that, and I'll be able to either play it once or twice, depending on whether I feel like playing more leads or extra leads, or maybe there's other instruments involved that I might do a lead on a guitar and then a lead on harmonicas or something else. Who knows? So I'm able to take track 4 and either play it once or multiple times. It's currently set to be a single mode track, and that's where this function works best, I think, is on single mode tracks that tend to be longer, either verse or chorus sections. So I would put it on track 4 or track 5. Those are my single modes. I may want to change it to be track number 5 because I might be setting that on a chorus track. Who knows? There's all kinds of possibilities and options. Anyway, for now, I'm going to set it for track 4 to be one shot. And exiting that, now we're going to go to assign number 3 over to here and turn it on. And now it's going to be applied to mode 1, pedal 8. And that also is toggle, and it's going to be input through. And I'm going to find that all the way around at about the 3 o'clock position. And so it is just before the section that applies to MIDI. So I'm going to go all the way to where I start seeing MIDI, and then I'll back up a little bit, and I'm going to look for input through. And there it is right there. And so we have that set. And now I'm going to back out of this, and I want to go to an overview shot so that I can show you something. Now, going back to the overview, I want to show you that something interesting does happen. And let's just move these tags aside. I want to show you something interesting here. When you use an assign, you have no indication of whether or not that function has been activated. But when you have a control function, you do. It'll light up and show you that it's been turned on. Only on the control functions, but on the assigns, you get no such indication. So, what's happening? Well, the function is being activated. It just isn't showing anything that it's being activated. There is a workaround for this. Let's go back into the menus and we will fix that. Back into menu, and we're going to go now into control functions. And I said in the previous video that each foot switch is entitled to one control function and as many assigns as you wish to apply to it. You can either have a control function and several assigns, or one assign, or you can have no control functions and still put assigns on it. So on foot switch 1, we had turned it off previously. So I want a light to come on. And fortunately, in the control functions, there is such a command. The very last command at about the 5 o'clock position, it says toggle color. All it does is when you press the button, it turns on the LED. Well, how convenient is that? Now I have a light that's going to come on pedal 1. I'm going to do the same on pedal 2, spinning that all the way around to the far end of the list, toggle color. So now that one should light up when I press it. Backing out of this, pedal 8, input through is an assign, and that one also needs to be set with an LED to come on. Call it an indicator light. So that final control function option, toggle color, consider it as being just an indicator light, and that's all it is. So now, if I go back to the overview, I can now press these buttons, and when I do, a light comes on, or it comes off. On, off. The reverse function is a control function, and it was already able to light up and tell me something is active, and same here, and there we go. So now I have indicators on just about everything. So now I'm ready to start doing my thing. And with this easier layout, I still have the ability to do something with these foot switches later on. I have all the functions that I think I'm going to need for now, and I think in the next video I'm going to go over to mode number 2 and put a few commands on there that may or may not surprise you. Yes, we're going to be using mark set, mark back, dub mode, and record back, and I'll show you how they work, and I think it'll be convenient that they're all on the same screen. Anyway, that should be just about all for now for this video. If you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe. And if you wish to support my channel, you could do so at buymeacoffee.com/theMichaelsphere. So that is all for now. Please have yourself a great night, and I will see you in my next video. Bye now.